and welcome to YouTube Tuesday with me, Jessica Brigden of JessBCreativeCardiology. Hello, hello, happy Tuesday to you. I hope you're having a great start to your week. It is a hot one here in New York. We are crossed 80 degrees. We're in the 80s, which is crazy because we've barely had spring. And we're expecting some storms this afternoon because a cold front is coming in and is going to drop those temperatures down in the 30s tonight. So short-lived touch of 80 today, which is crazy. But I have some more Inked Occasions paper pumpkin kit projects for you. It was such a popular kit, all right? This gorgeous, beautiful kit in this pretty little box, all right? And I made a whole bunch of cards last Tuesday. Hi, Kat. Hello, hello. Yeah, these are some of the cards that I made last Tuesday. Oops, I should have gotten them in order here. They're just so pretty. Alrighty. That I put it out there if you'd like to see more or if you'd like to see something else. And a lot of you said more paper pumpkin cards. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm going to incorporate a few other stamp sets and dies. So a couple of the ones that I'm going to include are the Beautiful Butterflies bundle. This has some nice intricate dies as well as some great greetings. And I'm gonna use that, all right? I just got this Spring Corners bundle and it's got this really cool, some of these really cool dies, like this little corner one. Can't wait to use that. And a sneak peek, this is a new bundle called Beautiful Motifs. Check out these dies. If you love silhouettes, these dies are awesome. All right, so we're gonna incorporate some of those too. So we better get started because I got a lot to share. All right, so get those out of the way. Let me flip the camera here. I can show you what leftovers I have to work with. And then I did cut some of those coordinating cardstock colors into half sheets as well as a few quarter sheets here so that speeds things up just a little bit. Alrighty, so here we go. All right, oh, Kat, you're in the 70s out west. That sounds beautiful. Okay, so I tried to pop my iPad up here so I could see, and it's just a little too heavy for my holder, I guess. Alrighty, so what I've got here, this is what's left. I have a stamped congratulations. Forgot to set up my light here, so let's turn that on and that should help with things. Now, of course, I do have my Hugs of Bloom. These are the add-on dies. All right, that has the little hugs, flower leaves, and stitched sentiment label, stamps from the stamp set. All right, I've got a couple of these die cut hugs from the kit. Ooh, I've got a little half of a silhouette piece. Oh, that's kind of exciting. Okay. I've got one of these gold foil leaves, and then I've got some leftover bits and bobs here. Okay, a couple of half sheets. Oh, good. I do have a full sheet plus another die cut foil. Let me pop that out here so we can use those. All right, and that's a full one. Okay, so I've got 3 half sheets there. I've got a bunch of sentiment labels, and I still have 4 full card bases. Okay, so I've still got lots that I can work with here, which is pretty exciting. So now that we know exactly what we've got, let's go ahead and get started. So I know absolutely one of the first things that I wanted to use, I have been dying to use this corner die from the Spring Corners bundle. This is an online exclusive that was released, I believe it came out in March. All right, and so what I wanted to do with this was I want to do a square of some foil, maybe not quite this big. I cut this at 3.5 inches, and I want to do a layering piece. So let's see, maybe something from here, although that would be kind of pretty too, from one of these. I could cut this out. That would be kind of neat. All right, so if I did that, I would need a 3¼ inch piece to layer on here for my flowers. So let's grab our paper trimmer. All right, we've got our tools handy. Whoop, throw the bone folder. All righty, let's cut this down to 3¼ I think that's what I want. All right, so I'm gonna do a 3¼ inch square to layer on my 3½ inch square of gold. And we are going to die cut. Actually, let's do that out of this corner. All right, I think that's gonna look super cool. Alrighty. Actually, I could do it like that, and then, yeah, I like it out of this one better. Okay, so if you're following along, we are using Stampin' Up's April 2025 Inked Occasions Paper Pumpkin Kit, and we are using up these cards in this kit are just so beautiful that it made the most sense to cut all of the card bases in half so that we could double the number of projects that we could create. So that's what we've started doing, and I'm pulling in bits and pieces from my stash so that we can really extend this kit and make it pop even further. Okay, oh, look how cool that is when those pop out. So we've got this gorgeous little die cut flower. Oh, did my hubby pop in? Hello, hubby. All right, so let me go ahead and adhere this amazing piece over the gold foil. All right, so if you're gonna add anything to this kit, I definitely recommend a pack of gold foil sheets. They come 2 to a pack for $5, so you really can't beat that. All right, now we've got this beautiful, beautiful piece, and we need a card base to mount it on. And I think perhaps, do we want some purple? I believe this is Highland Heather. Yeah, I think that would be a good one for this. All right, so we're gonna add a little Highland Heather, and we've just about got our first alternate for today done. All right, let's see. Let's do that. I think that would be kind of cool. Oh, we could do. All right, so we've got some neat sentiments too that wrap around the corners. Always in your corner, thank you for everything. Wishing you an amazing day. Let's see here. All right, we can see what those would look like. Wishing you. How about we go thank you for everything? I can always use, well, it's so pretty. Let's do this one. Wishing you an amazing day. I think that would be a neat one for this. Okay, so because this is such a long stamp, I'm going to get out my E block. All right, I need just a little bigger block for this. And actually, let's line this up here on our grid. Make sure that we are square, okay? Because that is the thing about photopolymer, is that they will, you can bend and shape them, all right, however you want. I don't really want to bend and shape right now. I want them to stay in position. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit darker on my sentiment. I'm gonna go with Gorgeous Grape. All right, and I'm tapping my ink pad to my stamp so that I don't get too much ink. I don't want to go all the way around and get ink all over my block. So I'm actually gonna put my sentiment on here first, directly on my card front. Okay, and that came out nice. All right, so wishing you an amazing day. And now I can add this detailed piece that I had used. Oh, I just ran out of adhesive. Luann, are you watching? I always run out of adhesive when she's watching. All right. Good thing I always keep a refill handy. Okay. Make that quick here. Pop that in. All right, and oh, just get it started here. There we go. Okay, place this right in the corner. All right, wishing you an amazing day. Got a basic white layer for the inside, and then we can bling it up. Okay, that was the one thing that this kit did not come with, was any extra bling. All right, so we were working with, we've got some of the brushed brass butterflies, the birds and dragonflies, and actually I found I had tucked in here with my Hearts of Elegance. I've also got the adhesive backed heart sequins. They go really well with this kit. And actually, here's some iridescent faceted gems. I think those will go pretty with the kind of all of the sparkle right here. So let's go ahead and add a couple of these. Alrighty, so let's add a few of these, large and small here, and then maybe do another one up here. Let's see here. Keep this, all right, keep it in odd numbers, right? So 3s or 5s. All right, there we go. We'll add one more up there. So we've got a whole bunch on there. Isn't this fun? Yeah, so this is Highland Heather. Oh, I glued that on a little crooked, but oh, I'll just, that happens sometimes when I'm live. It happens sometimes anyways. Everything's just a little crooked. But yeah, so this is the spring corners, and I was super excited to play. I love this little coneflower corner die, which is pretty cool. All right, so that was one of the first ones that I wanted to do. Okay, and then let me see, I had this other idea here. Let's see. Okay, looking to see what I've got. All right, so this piece that's left over is a little over 2 inches, but I had a sheet of gold foil, and this one, oh, that might work out just right. This is 2, so I need to cut this a little bit smaller, and I wanted to layer them together. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna trim this down. All right, so I wanted this to be 1 3/4 then. Okay, so that it will layer onto that piece of gold. All right, so let's layer these together. And I cut this at 5.5 because this strip is also 5.5. All right, so that way the gold will just peek out from the edges, and you'll notice that I did already die cut that. So for this one, I used the beautiful Motifs, and I use this skinny little wildflower image here, all right, to die cut from that gold, which gives me this really cool. Now I should have used some adhesive sheets on there, so I'm going to have to be a bit careful when I apply that. I think I can use some little glue dots or even some of the mini dimensionals. All right, and then I want to add that to, let's add that to the front of something. You know, maybe we'll just add it to some pool party cardstock. How would that be? If I just add it to the front, is that blingy enough? I think that's kind of cool. All right, let's go ahead and fold this. Hi, Luann. I was wondering if you were here because it just ran out of adhesive. It's too funny. Alrighty, so we're making some additional alternate projects. This has been such a fabulous kit. Unfortunately, at this time, there are not any additional kits or refills. It's kind of was a sleeper kit. Stampin' Up! Really did not give much of a sneak peek for this one, and so, and then they did have some issues where, as they were switching over the Paper Pumpkin subscription site to the customer Stampin' Up! Site, they were merging the two. Some people accidentally multiplied their subscriptions unintentionally, and so kind of twice as many kits as were needed were shipped out, so Stampin' Up! Doesn't have any extras at this time. So once they get all of that straightened out and then can reevaluate maybe how many kits they have left at the end, they might offer some of these at a future time. And if they do, I'll be sure to let you know, okay? So I just used some little glue dots, and we are going to adhere this flower silhouette from the beautiful Motifs set that we die cut from that gold foil. Just glue that right there on the front. Just really, really clean and simple. All right, I wondered if I have any gold foil. I don't think I do. I think I just ordered some more gold foil ribbon, but that would be really pretty. You could do a little gold foil ribbon right there. Okay, and then for a sentiment, again, go a little bit darker. So let's go with some pretty peacock for this one. All right, so we've got all of these congratulations, thinking of you, hugs, and here from beautiful Motifs, thank you for everything. I like this, you've been on my mind. Oh, I like this, wishing you love and happiness that lasts a lifetime. That one's really nice too. Let's see which one. Maybe we'll do that one. Wishing you love and happiness. So pretty. All right, again, these are actually quite simple. Yeah, so pretty. And let's use a couple of the butterflies. I've got a couple left in here, and I think that might work. That is one thing I do need to remember to get some more of. All right, just added a couple of butterflies on there. Oh, I better stick my insert on the inside. Isn't that fun? Yes. Ah, it's so pretty, right? I love these colors. They are some of my favorites. Okay, now, what else did I have for you here? Okay, so let's go ahead. Oh, that would be kind of a neat one. You know what? Do I have my squares? All right, let's see. Oops. Sorry about that. Accidentally hit the light with my arm. Okay, let's die cut. I think I want to die cut a frame from the inside. That might work. Let's do that. Let's die cut from the inside of this. I just need to clean all these little bits from our flower off. Okay. All right, so we're gonna die cut the center rectangle from this piece. I think we're about center. Okay. Okay. And because I've got this really beautiful die cut that I want to work with. Okay, a little snap crackle pop there. Once we take, oh no, that's why it made that noise, because I had it upside down. Well, it makes a really cool impression, but it did not cut out what I wanted it to. All right, retake. All right, so that fern piece is from, again, also the beautiful Motifs, and that bundle is available May 6th. All right, that's in the upcoming catalog. All right, so what I want here is to do something like this. Ooh, I like it. All right, let's grab the glue dots and stick this down. I've got all the windows open because it's so warm today. So nice. I figured if anything, kind of air things out, although I must admit, I've never really been one to have bad allergies, and this year, I think because everything sprung all at the same time. Our magnolias in bloom, the cherry trees are in bloom, all the leaves are budding out on the trees. The neighbors, we've all started mowing our lawns, and my sinuses just kind of went into overload. And so I've been kind of battling that here this past week. All right, oh, that is so pretty on there, and I like the little detail that these rectangles that I used were the textured notes dies. Okay, now do I want to, I'm trying to decide what size I want for the inside there, because I think that would be kind of cool to mount those together. And maybe we'll do that on some fresh freesia here. Okay. Alrighty. All right, now remember this was a half of the card base, so it's just a little bit too large to fit. It would go on the whole thing, so I want to trim it down just a little bit. And so to make that even, I want to do an 1/8, just a sliver off of each side. Okay, so an 1/8, that's the little line there. So it's just taking a touch off of each one. So I'm doing that on each side to make this even. Okay, one more here. Okay, so now this will fit. That's actually a really cool frame. There's a couple things we could do that, but I think let's go ahead and do this. All right, so I'm gonna glue this down flat. Okay, so we've got a little bit of the fresh freesia peeking out around the edges because we trimmed it down. All right, and then let's do a sentiment here first. Let's see, how about thinking of you? Because I think these are a little bit too large for that space, although I do have some of these left. So if we did that, I could come in with my pretty peacock and the thinking of you. Oops. All right, let's see. Ink this up nice and steady, okay. And then use these cool die cuts here from the kit. Oh yeah, I like it. Okay. I'm gonna need to clean my stamps here. So I think if we do that, this will be good. All right, let's pop this up with dimensionals. Okay, so if you've been enjoying these alternate project ideas, thank you for watching my videos, and make sure you give me that thumbs up, that like and subscribe there, so that lets YouTube know that you guys like my content. See how I did? We just popped that up, a little bit of dimension, sets it apart. Okay, kind of mirrored the frame there. And then with our thinking of you, again, add a couple of dimensionals on here. What do you guys think? Upper or lower? I kind of like it off to the side, but again, upper or lower. All right, let me know what you think. Oh, Karen, it was good to have you on here. Thanks for joining us on your lunch break. Oh, Luann says she loves these textured frames so much that she ordered them twice. That's so funny. Sometimes that happens, and just a heads up, if that ever happens to you, know that Stampin' Up, they have a pretty amazing exchange policy. All right, if you find that you've ordered something twice, all right, Stampin' Up you can exchange that, okay, which is pretty awesome. All right, so what that means is that and your demonstrator should be able to help you with that, but there's a little exchange form, and you can return that product and get new product, all right, get different product that you didn't already have, in exchange for it. That way you get the full value of your return. All right, and if you do that within, I do believe it's 90 days. All right, 90 days is the max. Then you have to pay, you pay to ship the extra item back to Stampin' Up, but they will ship you the new product at no extra cost, all right? You do not have to pay the shipping twice, which is a pretty amazing policy, right? Considering we're the ones that made the mistake and then, but they'll do that. So I'm really loving this. I think this is one of my favorites here. All right, love that. Okay, so let's see here too. We have some, maybe let's go with this one. All right, let's cut this in half so that we can get 2 out of it. All right, so put this in here at the 4 1/4 mark. Get this score blade out of the way. Okay, now let's see here. I want to mount this, so I am gonna trim it down to 4. All right, 4 by 5 1/4 so that it will go on a card front. Okay. All right, so 4 by 5 1/4. Let's see which, I kind of like this little bit of purple up there at the top. All right, so we need to decide what color. Maybe we'll do some more of that, let's see. I've got some more Highland Heather. I also have, and this is kind of pretty, the Gorgeous Grape. So what do you think? Do you like the lighter, the Highland Heather, or the darker? Okay, so we could go either with that. We could even go with the berry. We could go with the berry burst on that one. All right, let me know. What color do you think we should do with this one? Okay. All right, so what my plan is for this, I'd seen this cool sketch, and of course I was working with all this gold foil, and I have a bunch, I think I showed you guys last time, a bunch of random scraps. So the gold foil comes in 2 12 by 12 sheets, but I'm always cutting it down, and I always save my scraps because you never know what you might want, you know, maybe just right size for a little piece. So this is where I'm going to pull in the beautiful butterflies. All right, because in this bundle, we've got a couple of these smaller butterfly dies, and you might have other butterfly dies in your stash. All right, Stampin' Up! Has always had quite a few butterflies. All right, so what I did is used some of these gold foil scraps, and I die cut some gold foil butterflies here that I thought would be quite pretty with this kit. All right, and I've got some 1.5, actually these are just under 1.5. They're like 1 3/8 by 3.5 inch strips of cardstock, basic white here. All right, so let's see, I think we're gonna go with the Gorgeous Grape just so that it's, I don't know, something a little different here. So we've got some different colors going on. All right, so we're gonna glue this down on our base here. Alrighty, and then I've got, oops, my basic white for the inside. Okay. Oops. I think that's straight. Okay. Now, these 1.5 inch strips, what we are going to do is pop these up. So, grab my dimensionals. So for the top and the bottom one, we are going to adhere our butterflies, and that's it. In the middle one, we will stamp a sentiment, all right, and do our 3rd butterfly. So let's see. I want to come up, yeah, about a 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. I know I hate to cover up that beautiful paper, but we'll do that and then add a glue dot here on our butterflies. Okay, so we've got one. All right, let's place this out. All right, that would be, all right, I don't know what happened. Must have been a junk collar. Okay, so I think you're still with me. Sorry about that. Excuse me. Okay, and oh yeah, I can move these up. I've got a little bit more room. Okay, so let's move this one up a little bit. Gently peel it off. Okay. All right, always a good idea to space. Yep, it was a spam collar. All right, there we go. So that one's set. This one's set. We'll do a second butterfly on the top one. Okay, kind of have them flying around at random. Now on this third one, I want to do our other little butterfly over here, as well as a sentiment. So let's go ahead and do, I like this thinking of you from the kit. Alrighty, although we've also got time to celebrate, in case you need me, I'm here. We've got a hello. We've got all of that here in the beautiful butterfly set that we could also use. Totally up to you. Okay, so I'm gonna just clean that thinking of you, clean that pretty peacock ink off of this so that I can use it with my gorgeous grape. All right, grab this back out. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Vellum would work, although you can't really stamp. You could gently emboss, so you could stamp with Versamark ink and then emboss that with like gold powder. All right, but you have to be very careful because vellum is also, well, kind of a plasticky material, and vellum will melt under intense heat. So you have to be really careful when you're heat embossing on vellum. So, but I think you can still see enough of the fun ink swirl on here. All right, and I love this design, just a really classic card layout, which is really fun. And again, I use the little butterflies, but you could, if you had that die, you could use those little flower blossoms instead. That would be really cute. I didn't think of that before now, but all right, I should have put that over just a little bit. All right, but anyways, you get the idea here, and then we just need a little bit of bling. So let's add some of these down here, and maybe a little one up here and here, and then another one up there, and here. I feel like we do need a couple more. Let's see. There we go. I don't always do a ton, but sometimes that works out fun. Anyways, just a cute little layout. All right, fun for our inked occasions kit there. Okay, and then let's see here. You know what we could do? A little classic. I should cut this apart because that would give us an extra. Actually, ooh, which one do I want to use? Because I did cut. Oh, I kind of like that. That would be kind of. Let's do this. All right. Inspiration has struck me, and I think I want to do. All right, if I do a fresh freesia base, I do have a little bit. Did anybody have fresh freesia ribbon left over from Celebration back in January? and February. Okay, so check this out. We've got a card base, our insert, okay. All right, so I want to do, actually, yeah, that works, right? Okay, so I've already got a layer of berry burst cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Oh, I didn't want to glue this down quite yet. Whoops. Okay. All right, in order to do that, I do need to trim this just a little bit to 3 3/4 by 5. All right, so I'm going to trim off of, I think this side. So cut that down to 3 3/4. And let's see, 3 3/4 by 5. All right, that gives me this fun layout. Now this I can glue. I'm gonna glue this to the berry burst layer, the other side here, so careful there. Okay, now I've got just a, oops, sorry about that, little bit of my ribbon here. So I'm gonna go right across the center and tack some of that to the back. Okay. There we go. And again, so that goes right across this white part. I think that'll work. I already got my adhesive back here. Mount this on the front. Woohoo! And then I can pop up my butterfly. Let's do, I guess I better use glue dots. Let's see, I've got some of these minis that came with the kit. I might be able to do a couple of little ones up by the wings. And actually, I could do one on the body if I use, oh, I can use that sentiment that I've already got stamped and die cut. All right, use bits from my kit here. Okay. Right across there. Actually, I think that's kind of cute, right? Let's just go down here. And do that. All right, and then let's see here. All right, found one of my bow makers. You know, I have like 3 of these plus my toaster tongs, and they're always hiding somewhere. So take your ribbon, wrap it around, go from back to front here. All right, hold it tight, go down through the middle, up and over, and then tie a knot with the ends there. Okay, let me see, I wanna expand that. Alrighty. And then, okay, voila. Look, it's the most beautiful little bow. Okay, and then we'll attach that with our glue dots. Glue dots, which are hiding. Okay. All right. And then maneuver the ends of our bow. Oh yeah. I think that is super cute. There we go, isn't that pretty? Kind of dainty, super fun. Alrighty, well, I still have pieces left over, but I think I'm going to leave where we're at for now. I could just keep making more of these. Oh my goodness. All right, so in today's video tutorial, we did this one with the spring corners. All right, what did I do with my, yes, spring corners here. Okay, and then we did this one with our beautiful motifs. Okay, and then we've got this one again, incorporating the dies from the beautiful motifs, but also using the new Textured Notes rectangle dies. All right, we just went with a classic little layout, some extra strips of basic white. Used our beautiful butterflies dies for those, and because I had a scrap, I thought, oh, I might as well die cut one of those intricate large butterflies too. Then we did that with the finale, again incorporating some of these sentiment pieces from the kit. And so what I added in was gold foil, and these are the iridescent faceted gems. So gold foil and iridescent faceted gems for this kit. All right, and there we've got 5. Nice round number for this afternoon. So thank you to all who joined me today. And who knows, I'll keep working. I still got more. This kit is the kit that just keeps on giving, right? Especially when you cut your card bases in half, then you can really extend it. The coordinating colors that we've got here, we've got some Highland Heather, Pool Party, Fresh Freesia, Gorgeous Grape, and of course the Berry Burst. All right, so just a side note too, if you have not stocked up on cardstock yet this month, all right, as of May 6th, the cardstock prices are going from $11.50 to $14 a pack. So do yourself a favor, save extra, all right, by stocking up on your favorite cardstock colors now before that price increase. And of course, we've got our amazing new rewards program, so you'll earn 10% back on every order too. So grab yourself some cardstock, some gold foil, and some iridescent faceted gems, and you will be good to go. All right, happy stamping, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon or evening wherever you are. Stay cool. And we'll see you on Friday. All right, take care. Bye-bye.